Good weekend, everyone. I hope you're all doing amazing this weekend. Hey there, John and Ray here, SSFTG. Good weekend, everyone. I hope you're all doing amazing so far this weekend. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the Upland metaverse. We've obviously had the Rio launch. We've got collections around the corner. We've got, there's quite a few news events, especially taking a look at the analytics page when Rio dropped. Holy moly, we had an influx of upix. There's a lot of good stuff to get into. Hey there, John Henry here, SSFTG. Welcome to the video. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome my friend. I hope to earn your like and subscription today. Welcome to the Weekend Upland Report, where we take a little bit more of an analytical approach to the Upland metaverse, taking a look at how the upix economy is doing, and how each market sector and neighborhood is performing, how the new Rio launch is doing. All of the important information that a lot of folks might overlook that can be the difference between success and failure. If you want to join all of us in the Upland metaverse, make sure to swing on over to discover.upland.me/SSFTG, or you can click the promo link down in the description to get you started. And that will get you in the Upland metaverse with 6,000 starting upix to get going. And that is more than enough when you consider Rio and some of these other ones were dropping FSA properties of 900 upix, I heard. Holy moly. So I think I heard a comment of 500 upix. Insane. So you definitely want to make sure that you're starting out with the best bang for your buck, and that promo link gets you 6,000 to start. Plus, if you decide to invest some cash into the game and get the ball really rolling, you get 50% bonus on your first purchase of upix with a cap of 50,000. So, I mean, if you really want to bank that big bonus, you know how to do it. Of course, we can't start things off without talking about the Woodhood merch store. Don't forget, 50% of all of the profit that we generate from the merch store goes towards our chosen autism charity of the month. So not only do you get to look through and pick out some of these wicked designs, these are so cool. You can deck your dog out with a bandana. There's some awesome new shirts. There's new designs here. There's some for MMVM. There's all kinds of awesome stuff. Make sure to swing over there because the month of July is almost done. We've only got one day, basically, and the month of July is focusing on the National Autism Association. So not only do you get to look incredible with some of these new designs and wicked cool things in here, but you're also helping an amazing cause. Taking a look at the news calendar first off, we did have a couple things going on this week. We had the all-new Recurring Rush pilot program, which we'll dig into in a second because that's really cool. And then we also have the Rio Collections Reveal announcement giving us more info on that. So first off, the Recurring Rush pilot program. What is this all about? So the Recurring Rush pilot program, this is really cool because I've been looking at getting more into treasure hunting. I know I've talked about this for probably months now, but my luck with treasure hunting has been terrible, but that's because I haven't had or built up a decent web. That's something that I'm planning on doing in the very near future here, but seeing this come up makes it really interesting because, well, let's just dig into it. So the new Rush mode brings a few tweaks that encourage city exploration along with the launch of treasure rushes and all of that stuff being more frequent. So how these work, each treasure rush is going to be in a singular city. The treasure rushes are open for 24 hours, so you've got some time to plan in advance. The goal is to launch treasure rushes a few times a week, about every 4 days. And the rushes last 15 minutes, so snatch as many treasures as possible while you're there. The leaderboards rank the top 50 players, and we have a new tier-based rewards that we're going to go into here in a second. Now, if you remember or have done some of the previous treasure rushes that have happened before, there are going to be a few differences that you're definitely going to notice. First of all, it's singular city instead of multi-city, so you kind of have to plan in advance a little bit, make sure that you're ready to go for that. The leaderboards are going from 10 from previous all the way up to 50. That's a big change because now more people are being rewarded for their efforts. But here's the thing, the treasure hunting is going from 30 minutes to 15, so we've got some serious pressure on this one. Now, as far as the recurring rush mechanics for the treasure chests and all that fun stuff, when the treasure mode activates, you'll have a 24-hour window like we talked about, and that's where you can go into the treasure tab and go into the game and start your treasure rush. Then you can hunt for your treasures like you typically would. You send your block explorer around the city and you locate the hidden treasures. As you hunt for the treasures in this mode, no sends will be used, which is really cool, though you will need to still pay a send and visitor fee, so that's still part of it, even though it's not actually using the sends. And the rewards are dynamic. So based on the treasure hunting tier, you will get different rewards, and that's what this nice little graph down here is for, although it's kind of small. Let me see if I can, let me zoom in here a little bit. There we go. So as you hunt for treasures in this mode, we're going to have all of these different things based on the city tier. The first city tier is tier 1, so the gray Genesis chest is going to be 250. The bonus chest is 10,000. That's a big one. We also have tier 2 cities, 208,000, tier 3, 150 and 6,000, tier 4, 104,000, and tier 5, 50 and 2,000. Each time you find a treasure, you will pay a small 10 UPX fee to spawn the next treasure chest to continue hunting. So that way you can keep finding the treasures until they expire. And then how you compare to the rest of them will depend on how you place on those leaderboards down here. Now remember, the leaderboards are really important because not only is there UPX rewards, there's Spark rewards, right? This is a big deal because Spark is obviously an incredibly value asset that just keeps going and going and going. Like the Energizer Bunny, or the name would assume, right? But remember, in tier 1 cities, look at the Spark values as well, right? You have some really, really decent ones. Tier 1s, you've got that 50,000 recurring rush leaderboard rank and 0.05 Spark for the top one. Number 2 gets 40,000 in the, again, we're looking at tier 1 cities here, but I mean, even tier 5 is 10,000, 8,000, 6,000. That's incredible considering most folks in tier 5 cities are going to be new folks who are just starting. 10,000 UPX for a new person, or even 3,000, 2,000 if you place even in the top 10, top 50. It's still really, really good. Now, the thing that's kind of interesting here, and that I am sort of confused about a little bit, and maybe this is just a typo, but is this tier 5 right here. If you place between the 41 and 50th, it's 8,000? Question mark? I think that's supposed to be 800. I think there's an extra 0 in there. I don't think that's correct because that wouldn't make any sense. That's the same as second place, then just purposefully be bad, but good enough to get into that the bottom 9, and you'll be okay. I think this is just a typo. I think this is supposed to be 800. I don't know why that would be 8,000, but again, we'll just kind of go with it and assume that that's 800 along the way there. The recurring rush schedule and all of that fun stuff, that's all broken down here. All treasure rush challenges start at 12 p.m. Pacific time on the date noted below for the runs, and they go for 24 hours. So looking for these first few here, the treasure hunt tier, Friday the 29th, which is already done. That was in Rio tier 4. Tuesday on the 2nd, we have Chicago, tier 1. That's going to be an interesting one. Then it jumps all the way to Staten Island, tier 5, and then it kind of fills in the rest. So make sure that you know what your schedule looks like depending on the city that you're waiting for. Now, it is to be noted here that while they do plan on keeping the dates above, they are subject to change. We know how life works. We know how Upland works. It sometimes unforeseen things come up. There may be some adjustments, especially with the pilot program. This is a pilot program with a rush, so things are probably going to change anyway. These are some really cool FAQs that I think are interesting because for me, I'm not super into the treasure hunting side of things, so these are questions that I definitely would have already had anyway. Will players be able to do several consecutive tries in the same city as long as it's within the time window? No, players will only have one attempt per instance. Do I have to claim the reward from the treasure each time? No, you can leave the collection of the treasure rewards for later if you prefer. You'll need to go back and collect those rewards later though, so don't forget about those. And then we had the next announcement, which was the Rio Collection Reveal, and this is not really a big surprise. I think it's just more for clarity's sake. They are announcing the collections on Tuesday, August the 2nd, which this goes in line with every other collection reveal. It happens a week after the initial launch, so this is what everybody's been expecting. But the timing is what everybody's been kind of waiting for. How are they going to launch this? Is this going to be in Brazilian time as with the rest of the launch, or are they going to modify? And it does look like this is going to be in Brazilian time. It's going to be 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which again, 5, 6, 7, 8 is 8 o'clock Eastern Time. So as far as 8 in the morning, I mean, not too bad. 8 in the morning can be kind of an awkward schedule time for people, though, depending on what's going on. So we'll see how it all goes. I mean, honestly, the release and everything else happened super early in the morning too, and it sold out. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And of course, the last thing on the docket before we go over into the analytics page is taking a look at the giveaway. Don't forget, I'll link the video up in the corner for you so you don't miss that one if you did. But the North Hollywood Chic giveaway that we are doing thanks to Lakhe over at Metopian Future. All you have to do is follow them on Twitter at Metopian Future and reply with your favorite neighborhood or simply retweet the post, and we will be drawing our winner randomly on August 1st. You do not want to miss it. That is an absolutely beautiful mansion. Now we can jump into the analytics side of things, one of my favorite parts to look at. I'm a big fan of numbers. If we look at the overall transactions, holy moly, can you guess where Rio was? I wonder, right? What a tough one. I'm going to guess that it's probably right about there, right? Now, we were talking about how Rio could possibly be or dethrone Los Angeles just because of the hype. It didn't. In fact, it just went on par with Las Vegas. It actually went just above Las Vegas. The swaps, however, went up drastically. We had a big increase in swaps. And now everything is collapsed all the way down to the bottom. Now, I say collapsed. Let's be realistic here. Is this actually a collapse? No, it's not. Everybody's waiting for collection information, right? On Tuesday, that's when we're going to see things jump right back up again. We see this on every single launch. Every time we have the initial spike, then everybody waits, then there's the collection. Initial spike, everybody waits, collection. Initial spike, everybody waits, collection. And over and over and over again, it happens constantly. So the next bump up on collection reveal information based on historical information, I would assume that it's probably going to be a lower high. But remember, based on the collection information and the fact that Rio is our first kind of Genesis international city, if this were to change and all of a sudden we see this go higher, that is a huge clue because, there's a lot of implications that have taken place with Rio, not just the price increase and all that fun stuff. We have the transactional volume back above 2 billion again, which is always good. But if we look at the actual unminted properties, you remember before we loaded up the minted properties when Rio launched, we were sitting at 493,000 last time. Then Rio launched, which brought about 57,000 properties, give or take, with CDD in there that added like 4,300 something. So on total, it was about 57,000 properties that were added with Rio. It's sold out. Those are gone, right? So not only did we completely sell out an entire city of, the first release of the city, I'll clarify, the first release of the city, not only was that sold out 57,000 properties, but it also decreased to 485,087 properties available unminted. Let that sink in for a second. We had a full city release. Not a full city release. Again, let me clarify. A part of a city release. It's a new city that released is what I'm trying to say. And it sold out completely. And we've gone down another 1.678% of the previously unminted properties, right? If you want to talk about incredibly bullish implications for Upland, that's it right there. It wiped the initial city launch of Rio, and it almost tanked another 2% in terms of the underlying unminted properties. That is amazing. And now we can jump on over into our zone by zone analysis. Looking across the board, first off in Bakersfield, we had our previous USD floor at $5.40 up to $5.50. That's up 1.85%. Nice little increase there. The UPX floor going from $77.40 to $79.95. That is an increase of 3.29%. The arbitrage between them, $2,495. Not too bad there. On the collection front side of things, we are seeing not so great. We've got a 12% increase in Buck Owens Rare, but that's really about it, and that's on the USD side. The UPX floor seeing a very, very nice increase in the Oaks, up 32%, but otherwise everything kind of calm and quiet over in the Bakersfield area. Then we can swing on over into the Bronx. The USD floor going from $8.70 to $8.49, decreasing 2.41%. The UPX floor, though, going from $11,320 to $11,700, going up 3.36%. And the arbitrage is looking really nice, $3,210. On the collection front, the USD side has some pretty nice gainers, with the limited collection Morris Park up 24%, and the Riverdale Rare Collection up 26.67%. The UPX floor is basically up across the board, except for Pelham Bay and Mott Haven, and Concourse is basically flat. Everything else is going up, so the UPX floor is seeing a nice little rebound, and I think we're going to see that very frequently across the board, because remember, Rio sold out, so you either buy it off secondary. Everybody who was offloading stuff to get UPX for Rio and then realized that they couldn't unload all of their UPX because it sold out too quick, they're going to be dumping their UPX back into the economy again, and we're seeing it across the board on collections. Moving just a little bit south into Brooklyn, $5.39 to $5.25, down 2.6%. The UPX floor, though, doing really good, $7,100 up to $8,000. That's 12.68% on the increase side. Arbitrage, a little under $3,000, but not too bad, $2,750. Everything else is really flat or not moving here in Brooklyn. It is dead quiet over here. There's a little bit of movement on the UPX floor, but that's really about it. A lot of unchanged. And it's that time again. It's time to head over to Chicago. We're back, and man, I tell you what, there's some reason to sing on this one. This thing is doing incredible. Look at the floors on this thing. Holy moly. First off, the USD floor going from $3.82 to $4.20, that's up 9.95%. The UPX floor going from $5,600 to $6,500, that's up 16.07%. Chicago's still on the lower side for the arbitrage end of things, but not bad, $2,300. On the collections, I mean, there are a few that are doing bad, right? Rare Greektown is down 57%. That hurts. We also have a 17% decline in West Division and a 22% decline in South Shore on the USD side. The largest decline on the UPX side is 18% down in Hyde Park Limited, followed by a 13% drop in the ultra-rare Chicago Riverwalk. But everything else, I mean, look at these, 127% up, 125% up, 115, 23, 32, 65. I mean, that's just the USD floor. Look at the UPX floor, and we're seeing the exclusives and rares picking right up there as well. It is doing super good over here in the Chicago zone. Then over into Cleveland, a little bit of an interesting one here. The USD floor going from $5 to $4.99, dropping a penny or 0.2%. Not a big deal there. The UPX floor going from $6,666 to $7,700, increasing 15.51%. Very strong as well. Arbitrage sitting at $2,710. Not bad at all. The USD floor is kind of wishy-washy though. I mean, we've got a 25% decline in Glenville, but there's a 50% increase in Tremont, and a 50% decline in downtown, and a 29% drop in Carnegie Ave. But then on the UPX side, we've got a lot of bullishness until the bottom in Mayfield Road, where it's down 22%, 30% down in downtown. It's a really kind of weird market right now. It feels like Cleveland's trying to figure out what the heck's going on. Then on over into Detroit, the floor going from $3 to $3, basically on infinity mode. That'll be unchanged forever. $3,567 on the UPX floor to $34.99, dropping 1.91%. Arbitrage still the tightest among all of the neighborhoods at $499. Now, looking at some of the collections, we are seeing a lot of back and forth. The USD floor is getting clubbed on some of these pretty badly. Jefferson Chalmers and East English Village, both dropping 13% and 38% in East English. We've got a 26% drop in Historic Motor City. We've got some decent pullback here on the USD floor. The UPX side of things actually getting slapped pretty hard there in Brightmoor, down 21%, but everything else relatively stable. And of course, the good old Woodhood going from 79, that's my fault, sorry, 79 to 87,999, up 11.39%. Very, very strong overall. Then swinging on over into the Fresno side of things, we've got the floor unchanged at $5 to $5, and the UPX floor going from $7,200 to $7,400, increasing 2.78%. Arbitrage between that is $2,400, relatively good. Everything else is either nothing's happening or everything is exploding, right? I mean, Woodward Park on the USD side is down 24%. Tower District on the USD side is down 42%, but go down the list a little ways there, and Downtown Murals are up 33%. Super wishy-washy because everything else is completely flat. On the UPX floor, we've got some decent back and forth here as well, but it's just like Fresno is sort of on the back burner. There's not much going on in the Fresno area, but I do think that things like treasure hunt rush modes and all of these things where they're implementing all of the cities, it's going to do good across the board for the floor regardless. Over in the Kansas City area, we've got the USD floor going from $5.89 to $5.87. Not much movement really, down 0.34%. The UPX floor following right along with that $79.89 to $8,000, increasing 0.14. Not much. Arbitrage between them, 2,130, so it's on the lower band of things here, but all things considered, you know, looking at the collections as a whole, we've got the USD bottom end getting pretty tanked on, but when we're considering the upper band, we've got Grand Boulevard up 29%, we've got Foxtown East up 25%. On the UPX floor, relatively quiet, calm, except for in, what is that, Foxtown East? Yeah, Foxtown East, that's up 41%. Everything else kind of flat, kind of nothing else going on. And speaking of Las Vegas, we might as well jump on over there and see how it's doing. $5.50 down to $5.29. That's down 3.82%. However, the UPX floor has gone from $8,000 to $8,199, increasing 2.49%. The arbitrage is actually really strong here, 2,909. Definitely not bad at all. On the collection side of things here, we've got some decent movement, but, you know, most of the pullbacks on the USD side, not much, and if anything, they're going up. The Elopers, up 19.33%. We have Twin Lakes, up 10.3%. On the UPX side of things, the only real notable mover is up 17% in the Arts District. Everything else kind of calm and quiet, or down, like 22% down in downtown. Too many downs in that sentence. Then on over into Los Angeles, the ever tiny little thing there that I can't fit underneath my. And now my Block Explorer takes up like the whole friggin' thing. Either way, Los Angeles going from $4.99 to $4.90. That's down 1.8%. But the UPEX floor, wow, 6384 up to 7600, up 19.05%, and doing just fine. The arbitrage at 2700, looking pretty strong. That's where things stop, though, because the USD side is nothing but negative or flat. We have nothing happening in Los Angeles that is bullish. In fact, Echo Park down 26%, and a lot of these are down 10, 15, 20, 30%. The USD side is getting beat up in Los Angeles hard. People are cashing out, and this is an amazing time for deal hunters and bargain hunters to be looking for them, because they're probably going to rebound next week, to be totally honest. Looking at the UPEX side, though, holy moly, that's where all the USD is going. Look at the UPEX floors. Up 26%, 32%, 29%, 500% in the Gregorius Angelino. We have some serious UPEX movers going on in Los Angeles while everybody is cashing out in USD. Then on over into the Manhattan side of things, last week, $59 floor, which I'm still blown away by, and it's only gone up to 62. That's still crazy. 5.08%, 91,900 to 99,900, up very nice, 8.71%. Of course, the king of arbitrage, Manhattan, comes in 37,900. Big old whopper of an arbitrage value there. Now, looking at some of the collections here, we can see, everybody on the USD side, on the UPEX side, pretty much coming into the collections, and that's because Manhattan is always that way. When people have a lot of extra UPEX or a lot of extra USD, Manhattan is usually the one that gobbles it up. That or Rutherford or San Francisco or nodes. That's usually where it all goes. So when we're looking at these types of things here, there are some decent dips. As an example, 19% down in Upper East Side, 17% down in historic NYC. There are some pretty good pullbacks, but you can see what happens after those pullbacks are done. Financial District, especially in Manhattan, are you kidding me? Up almost 100%, 98.33. On the UPEX side of things, we do have some nice discounts here as well, down 52% in Skyline Manhattan, but all of the other ones basically up or flat with a small little decline there in Park Ave. Everything else is doing relatively strong. Then swinging over into Nashville, we have the USD floor going from $4.60 to $4.95, up 7.61%, and the UPEX floor going from $76.77 to $77.77. Up 1.3%. Arbitrage value between that, 2,827. Definitely not bad. Looking at the collections, the UPEX floor relatively stable or up. There are a few pullbacks there, but not really that much. And on the USD floor, we are seeing some cashing out in the ultra rares, definitely getting hit the hardest with live music, Nashville Murals, and Jackson Boulevard, all pulling back sequentially down 5%, 13%, and 27%, getting worse as they go. Likely, again, people are cashing out, getting some of that Rio cash out of the game, maybe. Who knows? Rio USD sales will be coming around the corner, but I don't want to jump the gun. We'll talk about Rio in a minute. Nashville is relatively stable, but on the upper end, we can definitely see some cashing out going on. Over in New Orleans, $6 to $5.99, dropping a penny there, down 0.17%. The UPEX floor, $84.99 to $89.90, up 5.78%. And the arbitrage just hitting that magic 3,000. I love when they get over 3,000. That's always fun. Of course, over 9,000 is a lot more fun because then we can get all memey. On the collection side of things, we've got the USD floor, a little bit of a backwardation from what we just saw from Nashville. Everybody in the USD floor is going over into New Orleans. Haunted places in New Orleans up 19%. Audubon Place up 20%. Jazz venues up 48%. Serious increases on the USD floor. And it's funny because it inverses completely on the UPEX floor. That's down 40% and 41%. So really weird flip-flop going on here. But the UPEX floor looking relatively good on the lower band of collections. And the USD floor on the bottom band seems like people are buying in. Oakland on the backside of the ugly stick here, $6.49 to $5.50, down 15.25% on the USD floor, $8,700 to $84.44, down 2.94%. However, the arbitrage in Oakland still really strong, not over the magic number, but $2,944, not bad. On the collection end of things, this is where things start going a little bit more worse. The USD floor is actually okay. We've got a lot of back and forth. It's either a lot up or a lot down. 70% up as an example in Gibbons Drive. Solano down 24%. 35% down in Temsical, but South Berkeley's up 49%. Really big swings on both sides. On the UPEX side of things, not as aggressive, but we do still have some pretty big movers. 63% up in Grand Ave. The largest drop is 18 and 16% in Rockridge and Shafter. That's really about it. So on the USD floor and the UPX floor, a little bit kind of violent so far, but the arbitrage still solid. Then on over into the East Coast with Queens, we've got the USD floor going from 369 to 372. That's up 0.81%. The UPX floor 5149 to 5500, up 6.82%. But the arbitrage still kind of bad. It's not even over 2,000 at 1,780. It is what it is, right? Now on the collection side of things, we've got a lot of pretty violent moves here, but nothing too psychotic. Not any 70-80% moves, anything like that. It's just very aggressively bearish with a couple little pops to the upside in there, but they're just not very strong. On the UPX side of things, we've got a nice little lift, 21%, 25.19. There are a few in there, and the downside, there's only really one, 16% down in Beach Channel Drive, which would have been my fault. You'll notice that my properties are gone there. I sold out of those going into Rio. I am one of those victims of overselling in preparation for Rio, and then realizing that we don't actually need that much. The next place that we're swinging over to, of course, is going to be Rio. Now, we do not have the collection information yet. We barely have USD information, right? That just started. I mean, I don't even have the latest ones. I think I first started seeing some pop up in like the $10 or $11 range, but that's going to be wild over the next few days, weeks, as more and more people are able to sell in USD. So the USD side of things, kind of irrelevant right now. Not irrelevant, but it's just, there's too much that's going to be happening. The UPX floor, though, going from 10,999 to 11,500. Still relatively volatile, a lot of back and forth, but one thing that's awesome, we get to add Rio, at least for now, to our really good arbitrage areas. 3,600 at the USD floor at 790. Again, that's going to be wild based on the next few days, weeks, but until we get collection information, I don't even know what that is. Until we get collection information here, this is really all we have, is just going off the floor. I do think that there are a lot of very interesting areas, and I know we really didn't get a chance to talk about collections a whole lot, but there are some definitive zones of interest. I mean, Centro or downtown, everywhere basically has a downtown collection, and most of those sell for a heck of a lot more than what they were minting for in Rio. So there's a lot of good value in Rio, but until we get the collections, that's what a lot of folks, myself included, are really waiting for. Then on over into the Rutherford side of things, the floor going from $40 to $40. Pretty stable there, not changing, 0%. $56.99 to $63.999 though, that's up 12.28%. And Rutherford has always been a very good arbitrage market, $23,999. Not only that, but the collections are, well, at least especially on the UPX side of things, holy crap. The USD side, a little bit wishy-washy and flat. We've got a 20% increase in Park Ave, but Carmita's down 22. On the UPX floor though, holy cow, 49% increase in Park Ave, Feronia's flat 0.53, and then 87% up in Carmita Ave on the UPX side. Unbelievable amounts of movement going on in Rutherford. Then, of course, we do have that Lakhe giveaway going around the corner, and there's Metopia right there. Right on next to that stadium, MetLife Stadium, super easy to find. Just another little shout out for you there, buddy. Over in the San Francisco side of things, the USD floor going from 17 to 1650. That is down 2.94%. The UPX floor, 27,000 to 26,000, down 3.7%. San Francisco, again, is a very good arbitrage market, sitting at 9,500. And looking at the collections, I mean, the USD side, there's only one that's doing good, and that is the Sunset node and Sunset collection. $17 up to $22. That is up 29.41%. On the UPX side, 28,000 to 31,900, up 13.93%. more. As far as the other collections, there's nothing in the USD side that's doing well, and on the UPX side, that's where it seems like a lot of people are again parking cash. It's Genesis City. Everybody knows San Francisco is a good value play in the long run generally. So again, this is one of those markets that with a lot of extra UPX floating around after Rio, people are looking for things to buy. Santa Clara next up on the list, going from $20 to $22, up 10%. The UPX floor, $31,000 to $33,000, up 6.45%. And again, Santa Clara, one of those beautiful arbitrage markets, over 10K at $11,000. Really, really good arbitrage there. On the collection side, USD floor is all but flat or up. It's all bullish here in Santa Clara on the USD side. And in fact, even on the UPX side, I mean, really look at it. The UPX floor, the only negative, went from $72,000 to $71,990. That's a decrease of 10 UPX, right? So everything is doing incredibly well or flat in Santa Clara, and it always has been a very strong market, and here we can see it reflected. When people have a lot of extra cash, they're going to flock to the ones that usually have some pretty good scores, right? And this is a great treasure hunting map at Tier 2. And then we get to finish things off in Staten Island, which unfortunately is not actually a very good thing. $5.89 to $5.50, that's down 6.62%. The UPX floor, $7,900 to $77.77, down 1.56%. Arbitrage between them, meh, 2,277. All of the USD collections are down or flat, so it's not looking very good over in Staten Island. But again, those discount buyers, I mean, look at historic Richmond Town. That's down 52% in an ultra rare collection. Could be some nice deals going on here, even 20% in great kills. On the UPX floor, predominantly down, although we do have a nice little 20% increase over here in Richmond Terrace and a 10% increase in Tottenville. Everything else is down. So it's, it looks like Staten Island's getting a little bit beat up. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week in review on the Upland Metaverse. I hope you and yours are doing incredibly well so far this weekend, and hopefully you had some amazing luck in the Rio launch. We've got the Rio collections right around the corner here, so best of luck to everybody on those collection drops. Let me know in the comments, what was your best grab from Rio? Did you grab a whole area to yourself, or maybe you got some that you were really gunning for and you actually nailed them? Drop them in the comments. I always love hearing from you. Also, Rio has some incredible street views, so make sure to drop those down there too. Until the next one, enjoy, rest up, and we'll see you all in the metaverse. Thanks. Bye.